I'm Christie and my partner was Amber.
Yes. Yeah, that too. Um, so I think the pictures themselves were kind of mesmerizing, but um, the whole movie I was trying to figure out why you were doing like this enlarging thing, except maybe adding movement or something. I couldn't figure it out. So I don't know. Like I'm wondering why you chose to do that, and also like it feels like the movie length was picked like the length we showed each image was picked to match the music piece. So I also would like to know what the significance of the music is.
So the images were enlarged gradually because what we did, what Amber and I did was we did sort of like an we did an exquisite corpse storyline. So she started in Avatar, and then I would continue the story based on the experiences in my life and also what I thought she was trying to say. So, because in the very beginning we had to do a lot of small talk, and then we decided that if we made a storyline based on our days, then we would get to know each other better. So every single day, like every morning, then our avatars would become increasingly more complex and more of a combination of the two of us. So the reason why I zoomed in on them is because when I looked at them, at first they were very simple images to me, but I know it's just the way I was thinking. Like I had to keep on looking at them to try to figure out. I had to keep on looking at them to try to figure out what was she was trying to say or what was going on during her day. So it was just basically how I was thinking. And well, she would draw how many pages she felt like, and I would draw how many pages I felt like would summarize my day or my weekend or whatever. So, and then we would just keep on adding to it. And then we were using new drawings, but the last one is a combination of both of ours. So I drew it, and then she painted on top of it. So we didn't try to finish the story because we wanted the avatar to keep on living. So, but anyway, and then Amber wanted to put music to it. So at first we were thinking that I would maybe do the bass line in the same key, and then she would add the melody on top of it to create harmony. But it didn't work out because of computer issues. So what happened was I improvised the melody based on a key, and then I sent the sound file to her so she could edit it and add whatever sound she wanted to it. But she wasn't able to do that. So, yeah. Yeah, so I guess what it could be saying is because they're in the same harmonies, then it sort of pulls the two drawing styles together and also the storyline. So,
Um, I just want to say I really like those pictures. It's like really nice, and I really liked how like on the parts that you put crayon or something, they like seemed like they were moving, and it was like a really nice touch. Uh, and I think it's interesting how like you guys were really like able to like produce an artwork together, whereas like other like a lot of like I you were most people were like just communicating kind of and like kind of like putting their artwork together in the end, whereas like I think you really worked together by like I don't know drawing the same drawing and like trying to even though the music didn't work out. I really liked the video. So.
Um, yeah, the zoom in or whatever that feature was, not good. It just comes off as like, I'm going to make this an animation by zooming it in, and thus it'll be more interesting, and it didn't serve purpose. And it oftentimes cropped the image in a really irregular and unnecessary way. So it's kind of like, there's that Ken Burns function on photo. The Ken Burns. It's just like a too stock. Somehow it doesn't feel like you were making a choice that you really needed to. I don't just because it's being presented in a slide or sequential format doesn't mean it has to kind of move. And I think what you were doing within the images was more interesting than that. So, and I think there were some images that were really just wonderful and bizarre and beautiful. And I was more interested in what happened individually within certain images than the sequencing, which I didn't know the system that was at play until after you discussed it. And so perhaps if there was some way of unfolding that system to me in the work itself, I would have been more involved in looking at the transition between images.
So like the images on the screen were really fascinating, but slideshows kind of not necessarily the slideshow, but when you say slideshow, like it has a certain feeling that comes with it. And when I was flipping through your sketchbook earlier and like looking at the pictures that way, it was really interesting with like the crinkling of the paper and everything together. And I think that would look really cool in a book. Maybe that's something you could try. Or, I don't know, but
we thought about putting in a book. Like Amber really wanted to put it into a book, but I was worried about presenting it. Like presentation was a problem for us. So I didn't know if we made a book, when we passed it around, it would sort of be awkward. But I guess you would be able to see the transitions easier because you would be able to notice which ones were scans and which ones were the originals. But, yeah. As a book.